Hey y'all. Alright, so here we are. We back again. Day 9. We're on day 9 of GBS Awareness Month. Well, it's more like post 9 because I'm the days behind, but we already done discussed that. You know we late. I'm always late. I told you, get with it. Alright, so I'm late, but that's alright. We're making our way. We almost caught up. My voice is still a little wonky. So boom. I don't have much of an introduction for this next video. It is talking about my mother. So if you cannot handle that, my mother's been deceased for like 22 years. So if you're one of those people who can't hear me talk about my mom, then again, trigger warning, you're not going to want to watch this video. But it is, oh, is that a pimp? Ew. That man ain't going on right now. Okay, so I'm gonna leave that in there because like life, alright? But again, if you are having a problem with that, you might want to trigger warning, you might want to not watch this video, but it's about, you know, why I'm so strongly wanting to do this and share my personal journey. It's because I knew that she went through something very similar, and I did not want to go down that same route with trying to get diagnosed and never being able to get diagnosed, and people just not listening to you, which again, I will talk more, like I'll tell specific stories about that later on. After I finish with the videos that I did years ago, then I'll go into that. But that's one of the reasons I want to advocate for myself and others, is because you can, so let's just say this is a disclaimer to my video. I have altered some of my thoughts and advice on this because I feel like going to the doctor, especially in the situation that I was in, going to the doctor is just not enough. The doctors have to listen to you. The doctors have to listen to you. They have to run tests. They have to believe you. And so I was a little misguided when I spoke about, you know, just go to the doctor, because just going to the doctor didn't even work for me, right? I don't know where I was at. Excuse me on that one. But I, you know, just understand that I do understand it's not that just as easy as just going to the doctor, specifically for people of color. Us black folk, babes, especially black women, are not believed, okay? Our pain is not taken seriously, and a lot of times they don't even believe we're in the pain that we say we're in. They don't even believe that. That played a huge part in me getting diagnosed, and I don't, you know, don't want to get into it on this video. So I just wanted to put that disclaimer out there that I have changed my thoughts and opinions on some of that, realizing that I was a little misguided in some of that. But without further ado, thank you for coming in and staying with me this long. I do appreciate it as usual. Hopefully I'll be able to put out another video very, very soon, if not today. Yes, no, we shall see. But yeah, here's the video, and until next time, I'm gonna see you next time. All right, now I love you. Bye now. Hello everybody, thank you so much for joining me again here. Don't know where you are joining me from. If you are on my Facebook or YouTube, Christy Love's Health Journey page. If you're on Facebook as my regular page, if you know me as Kristen, maybe you're coming from my Facebook Christy Love Food page, or maybe you hit me up on IG under K_Jack the Aspiring Chef. Wherever you're coming from, I'd like to thank you for joining me, and thank you for spending time with me. I know time is valuable, and I appreciate every second that you allow me to be in your space. I am coming to you today to explain why my health journey is important to me, and basically just about advocating for yourself based on something I had to learn and be in close proximity to happening to someone very, very near and dear to me. If you've known me for several years, or if you know me in my personal life, then you probably know this. But for those who don't know, I just want to share a little bit of my mother's journey. I don't know why I was expecting not to feel. Okay. So, my mother passed away 16 years ago. Almost 17 in November. When I was 16 years old, and I believe my sister was 19 at the time, if I'm not mistaken. She passed away from colon cancer. But the story is not just, so simple. So, a few months before my mother was actually diagnosed, she was complaining of back pain. Anyone who knows my mother knows that she is kind of thuggish when it comes to pain. It's just, she can take pain easily. One of my favorite stories to tell when I'm telling her story to give a balance of who she is I seen her, I think it's called a food processor if I'm not mistaken. And I mean, I'm supposed to know this, right? It's my wheelhouse. But I had to ask my sister what it is every time. Like, it's a food processor, right? Anywho, back in the day, everybody used to watch the QVC. And you gotta have the latest and greatest appliance and pans and stuff. And so we had all that good stuff, Tefal, pots, and all of this. So, or Tefal, I don't know how you pronounce it. They was good pots. Well, one of the things was a food processor that was used, and she was washing dishes, and one of the blades in there, those things are very sharp. So she was washing dishes, and I guess really wasn't being super careful, and ended up slicing her hand open like this, like slicing her hand up to the whack meat, as we call it. But if you want to be all sophisticated and like use medical terminology and such, which I don't know why you would do that, because white meat is so much more fun. Tendonish-ish, I suppose. Tendons. Use the black meat. This woman went into the corners of our living room, grabbed some cobwebs out the corner, put them bad boys in her wound, cleaned it out, put some gauze on it, taped that thing up, and that was it. Something she probably could have used some stitches for. She just packed that bad boy up and was like, whatever. Now, she did yell and scream about it being extremely dangerous and that her kids wouldn't be touching it. Now, we was a little older to know not to be playing funny with knives, but she did not care. The funny part of this story is, she was like, my kids are not going to be playing around with that thing. Look at what it did to me. She threw away every good knife in the doggone house. She threw that food processor. We were not to use it. And she threw away every good knife in the house. I mean, we had to practically saw everything from there. But, safety first. Yeah. But that's just who she was as a person. So when my mom started complaining about her back hurting, I was like, oh, it must really be hurting. Then she goes on to one day asked me to massage a little part of her back that was hurting. It was like right up under her shoulder blade. And I start massaging that thing, and she starts crying. crying. She don't do that. Not in front of me like that. I think in the whole 16 years that I was living, I can count on one hand how many times I've seen tears roll down my face. So it was alarming, but she kept going to the doctor. Here's the thing. She kept going to the doctor about this pain she had in her back. And, excuse me for a second, I apologize. Okay, I'm back, thank you. So, my mom, when she got sick, she was going to the doctor. It's not as if she was just ignoring her health or anything like that. She felt this pain. She kept going to the doctor repeatedly. And they never ran a test or anything, a scan. Never took it more serious. They just kept telling her it's muscle spasms, it's fine, and continue to give her muscle relaxers. One day, my sister had to rush her to the hospital because she was in so much pain. I remember my sister telling me it was like every little bump. My mom was just like freaking out, and she's really just not like that about pain or in general. So she gets rushed to the hospital, and come to find out, she had colon cancer. Excuse me. She had colon cancer, and the pain she was feeling was a tumor that had metastasized under her shoulder blade, and it was wrapped around her spine. She had to have emergency surgery that same day. So you find out you have cancer, have emergency back surgery to remove a tumor. So they said that thank God she came when she did, because if she didn't, it was very possible that she would have been paralyzed. So she spent hours and hours in surgery, and basically she was never the same after that. She had a intense surgery. Then after that, went into chemo and radiation, which already weakens your body as it is, and then coming off of a back surgery, which is obviously one of the most sensitive areas, one of the most important areas of your body, as it contains your spinal cord, which is attached, to your brain. So she struggled and long and hard for 8 months, and then passed away 2 months after my 16th birthday. So my mother's what happened to my mother really shaped how I started dealing with my health. Like, I began to take it so much more serious. And I feel as though if she had not gone through that, I'm not sure if I would have taken the same steps on this journey that I did. It was a traumatic experience in general, but it definitely did give me some tools that I needed, because I just saw history repeating itself with me. Like, my mama knew something was wrong. She kept going to the doctor and never got any answers until it was pretty much late. I'm sorry, I need a second. Thank you. So, I just want to leave you with some takeaways. The takeaways that I got that helped me get to where I'm at right now. So, one thing I really want to address, and I don't know how it is for other people, but definitely people of color. We generationally darn near refuse to go to the doctor for anything. Anything. It doesn't matter how we feel, how sick we are. I mean, we just put off going to the doctor like it is nobody's business. That is a generational curse that needs to be stopped. I know sometimes it's hard when you don't have insurance. I know, trust me, I will get into that. It is not like it's not a thing that I've experienced, and I have straight up personal experience from this, so I'm not just saying that out the side of my neck like people love to say what they would do and wouldn't do in a situation they've never been faced with. So trust me, I understand. But we've got to figure out how to switch that generationally so that we're taking better care of ourselves when we feel ill and we know that something's super off, and not waiting too long until it's too late when you knew something was off with you. You know it is, you just don't want to go. Let's find a way to figure it out to get there. There's help, there's ways, it can be done. I know we get bills, but what's more important, your health or that bill? Excuse me. So that's the first thing. Go to the doctor when you know something's off. Don't keep putting it off and avoiding it if you can. And I literally know people who have insurance, no co-pays, no nothing, and still won't go to the doctor when they're sick. Paying for insurance. I did it. I've paid for insurance at an employer for a year. Never went to the first optometrist. Never went to the first dentist. Paid all that money for nothing. Don't be me. So that's one thing. Another takeaway, which is really the most important to me, is becoming your own advocate. Advocate for yourself when you know you're feeling ill. When you're in a situation that is something more intense than just like a cold, or maybe I got upper respiratory infection. Maybe I have a sinus infection. What I'm talking about, you know something's off with your body, something's not right, something went numb, something tingles, you get shooting pains here, the same place over and over again. When it starts to be stuff like that, you really have to advocate for yourself if you're not getting the attention you need. If you go to the doctor, they are so keen on not running tests and forgetting that you're a human being, and you come to the doctor not just for them to shove some pills in your face. So I would say, most definitely, advocate for yourself. And just tell them, they try to shove some, pills in your face, and you know that that's not right. They ain't done a first scan or ran a first blood test or nothing. Like, no, you're not gonna take any blood. You're not gonna run any tests. I have a severe pain in my stomach. You just want to give me pain pills. You're not gonna run a CT or MRI, ABC, elementary on me. Not first thing. You have the right to do that. It's your health. There's nobody in this universe that matters more than your health and yourself. So advocate for yourself if you feel like you're not getting proper medical treatment. And I'll be repeating that and repeating that and repeating that constantly, because I refused to be an advocate for myself for so long, and I got sick, really sick, more than once. So that's just our main takeaway. Please start advocating for yourself and do not be afraid to tell somebody when something is wrong with you and to push back on the doctors when you feel like they're not giving you proper treatment. Do you. Take care of yourself. So I'm just going to end it out here and we'll be moving on. I just wanted to give you a part of that, and it's not like I won't probably mention my mom again, but I just wanted to like give the backstory for the situation. And I really hate that my mom had to go through what she went through in order for, you know, years and years and years down the line for me to be able to do what I'm doing. But I thank her. Long time she's been gone and she is still being a good mother. So again, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you joining me here. If you're staying for a minute or the whole thing, I appreciate every second of your time. I promise I do. So just keep following on our journey. Again, don't forget to like, share, comment. Please do. And if you, like I said, if you want to inbox me, go right ahead. But one thing I will say is I was still unsure about doing this every single time, and sometimes it brings up some stuff that's super painful. But as soon as I did that first video, I literally start to reap the benefits from sharing my story already. So I know somebody else will too. I'm like, dog, I'm doing this to help other people, and I ended up getting help myself. So, continue to come back, stay with me, talk to me, interact. All right, and let's get it together. Thank you again. Until next time, it's Christy Love.